Okay, Codeforces around. Yeah, new setup, new hoodie. Let's get this bread. Let me make sure I have to log in first. Okay, let's go. Given an array of length n, do almost k operations, choose an elements. Have to remain non-negative. You can do at most k of these. You have to, looks graphically small. So that's greedy, right? Like, you have to go subtract from the front, add on to the back. You can always add on to the back, so it's pretty much just like subtract from the front until it like breaks. Okay, so n and then in k. An array, and then pretty much what we do is for an I is equal to 0 i's. You can do at most. Wait, is it at most? Yeah, at most. So I is less than n minus 1. Plus. Well, if k is equal to 0, then we just want to stop this process. Otherwise, if k is less than or equal to array at I, then array at I minus equal to k, array at n minus 1 plus equal to k, and then k becomes 0. Otherwise, is equal array at I. Well, okay, and then k minus equal to. And we just print this array, so so 21501. Let's see if this is correct or not. Okay. Okay, that was kind of slow, but I'm also like a tiny bit late, so it's fine as well. Baby E half is the other right. Fix two adjacent elements and remove them places as a single integer, which is a XOR. Make all of them equal. If you want to make all the elements equal, with at least two numbers remaining, their overall XOR has to be equal to 0. I wonder if it's just checking to see if the XOR of the entire array is 0 or not. Is that valid? I feel that's because if the XOR of the entire array is valid, at some point you're going to have like some of these values converge. So int XOR is equal to 0, XOR, and then if XOR is equal to 0, we print yes. Okay, it should be yes and no. Problem C. That's not quite right. Okay, that would have been a little too troll if it was right. That's fine. Is this a necessary condition though? This is necessary, yeah. So if the XOR is not 0, then it's never possible. It's just that it could still be impossible even if a XOR is 0. Well, upper bound of XOR is a plus b, so maybe like depending on how the elements like work with each other, it could work in that way. Let's see. So you pick, oh, you have to pick two adjacent. I think that's, okay, that's probably important. Oh, wait, If it's adjacent, then we can just check prefix XORs. Yeah. Wait. Yeah, we just have to check to see if there's a prefix that has a XOR equal to each other. Make all the array elements equal. Then it's, if you want to pick two adjacent values, then we know that if we had a point where we had 3 or more of the same, then we could just XOR them to be like this value, then that value together. There aren't that many options to begin with. Oh wait, hold on. If we can have all 3s, we know all 3s should be fine as well. Yeah, hold on. Actually, this is like not quite right. The fact that n is only 2,000 might help, but then there's 15 test cases, so it's really 30,000. Okay, what are some properties about this? So if we pick only adjacent elements, then we're essentially picking some subarrays and then sorting them together. I want to find which of these subarrays we can make all of them equal to each other. I think one important thing is that if it's possible to do it into like some n elements, it's always possible to do it in either 2 or 3. Because if we can say, for example, do it in 5 elements, so like we have 5 equal elements like next to each other, we could combine these, but then that would be 0, 0, 3, 0. Okay, but what about if there was a way we could combine it into 4, then we would combine these together to make a bunch of zeros. Maybe it's like a number of zeros or blocks that exist in this array. Like, does there exist a way we can partition this array into, okay. If we can partition it, then it could work. Otherwise, it doesn't really work. So if we have, say, 5 elements that are possible, make all of them equal. Okay, well, if the XOR is equal to 0, does that guarantee it? Maybe the XOR has to exist in the array to begin with. Because if we had something like 312, I mean 312 is still okay. I want to look at problem C for just a little bit, in case it's easier. Either way, like that needs to make an array to be good if there's no way to partition it to subsequences. Let the sum of elements of first is equal to sum of elements in a second. Whew. N is very small. So you want to... Wait, so we want to remove indices, well, minimum number of indices, such that if there's no way to partition it into 2 subsequences, Oh, okay. But there's no way that exists. Are elements guaranteed to be distinct? I guess if all of the numbers are same, then we just need to make sure there's an odd and is odd. Because then, no matter what, the subsequences we choose have different parities. And if they have different parities, they can't have the same sum. Interesting. Okay, so C seems kind of... It seems interesting. Seems interesting. Okay, so if 2 has like some adjacent numbers that have a XOR. If we can Jesus Christ. If we can collapse all these numbers together. I think it's like splitting it into 2 cases. So wait, if entire XOR is equal to 0, I don't think, does that guarantee we can do something? Because then we could do like 1 and 3 XOR each other is 2. Prefix at n-1 if I is greater than 0. Okay, then odd left. Okay. Let's see. If this correct, if an even number of elements exists. Okay, so if two numbers exist, they have to be equal to each other. If three numbers exist, because we can only choose adjacent elements, it's like the first number is equal to the last two, or the first two have to equal to the first. If it's like that, then odd left. But if we have something like 0, 0, 5, 0, 0, if the prefix at I is like the midpoint, and so if how do we say this? If count no. So the alphas have to equal. Okay, so if a prefix at A is equal to array at I, and if prefix at n-1 XOR prefix at I is equal to 0, then A is equal to I over 1. If prefix at A XOR prefix at I is equal to array at I. What's wrong with this? What is wrong with that? Do I need to do this? Oh, okay. Count is equal to 2. Okay, I'm gonna move on from problem B. Like, I just can't think of anything right now. Problem C. Actually, you know what? I'm not even rated right now. Why don't I just go to D, just for the fun of it? Yeah, I'll go to D. Time, baby, E have only cut and not stick. He starts with a piece of paper with an array A of length n written on it as following. He picks a range LR and cuts a subsequence this out, removing the rest of the array, then cuts the range into multiple subranges. He picks a range, cut this range. Okay, so he cuts into multiple subranges to it. Product. Okay, well, if a product of some numbers is equal to its LCM, that means every pair of numbers is co-prime to each other. For the minimum number of subarrays I'll need. So if we want to answer O of n per query, basically what we do is we want to keep track of, for every prime factor, what is like the next occurrence that it appears in. So, in other words, if we do something like this, let's see. Okay, so for pretty much for every prime number, we care about like its own location. So if we did something like the index at this and this, then we could jump to that next interval. Okay, if we had like it depends on which prime factors we have. There's about 10,000 prime numbers in between from that to that. If there's 10,000 prime numbers, we can't keep a table for each letter. Can we do Moe's again? I wonder if we can do Moe's again. That'd be hilarious if we could. Okay, so for D, what we do is partition it. Okay, so if we have a number A number can have at most, like, what, 6 prime factors? Let me see. Yeah, it's at most 6. Then for each number, okay, so if we did, okay, so maybe we could pre-compute for each number the number of things it would go to. Yeah, so we split it into one subarray. We would have to split it in that location. Yeah, but if we have AA and then BB, we would have to split it here and then here. But if you have B and then BA, we just split it once. Well, what happened? Hold on. Jesus Christ. Where's at least? These become 0, these become A. Oh, I'm kind of dumb. Oh god, I'm so dumb. I just realized how to do B. Oh, shoot, I'm dumb. Why? This is why I should be cyan. Fuck! Oh, jeez. I'm actually so dumb. Oh my god, that's embarrassing. Okay. For int a is equal to 0. A should be the most 1. Yeah, okay, if I want to make these inclusive. Wait, left is equal to this middle range. This middle range is equal to prefix b, get rid of prefix a minus 1 versus left. God, I'm so dumb. I got B. That was, dude, that was so weird too, because I just like randomly like figured out why my thing was working. Like out of nowhere. Do we do C or D? I haven't thought about C yet. But D seems doable for sure. Right, because we have to split it before something happens. We have a line from here to here. Yeah, let's make some observations. First one, this and this. Each number has at most 6 prime factors. 32. 2 to the power 6 is 32 times 10. We have a lot of prime numbers. maybe pre-compute, like for this number, this goes up to here, and then for that number, this goes up to here. Maybe it's like pre-compute with binary lifting. So if we calculate it directly by first comparing like the next element to this next element, we can then compare like everything in between using kind of like a segment tree type of thing, or like not seg tree, but like range min query. And then once we pre-compute that, we know that we can do one jump into here. Yeah, I'm going to try this. That's a lot of implementation though. Yeah, okay, I know how to do D. At least I think it's right. I'm gonna think about C in case if it's like not that hard. So it's n an array. So okay, if we think about this in terms of knapsack, what this means is that if S is the entire sum of this array, we always want to we want to prevent S over 2 from being achievable. Okay, if a total sum is odd, then we can guarantee that no matter what. So that's kind of a special case over here. Okay, so if sum is equal to 0, and ask is equal to 0. This is OR. And so if sum mod 2 is equal to 1, okay, if mask is equal to 3. If mask is equal to 3, that means we have to remove at most one element. It might not even be possible to get that element in the first place. That's why we would have to check. Otherwise, if everything is even, yeah, okay, so if it's this, then it's not possible in the first place. Otherwise, if there exists both odd and even numbers, then times 2,000 is 200,000. I guess this is Boolean. Okay, if this is equal to 0, then this. Otherwise, dexa is equal to I. If mask, well, Oh wait, no, we don't even care about dex, the index of an even position. We only care about the dex of an odd position. And we return. This is all even numbers test case. Okay, if all the numbers are even, then we just divide everything by 2 and then repeat this process. Yeah, okay. This is a pretty standard trick. And then eventually we'll get like an odd number because it'll divide to like at the lowest is 1. Okay, so and we do this at most log n times. Okay. And all even numbers. So we pretty much just like repeat this over and over again. So we can do a while true loop. Otherwise we return. By this and then by this. Is that a valid way? Yeah, okay, that should be fine. Well, static int max. And sum. One and three. 3 I'm sure is valid. Okay, got C. Yeah, C was really easy. I'm glad I looked at it before I started on D. Let's see. Okay, we're on problem D now. So pretty much for each number, we can take, like within each thing, we want to take its minimum. And so after we process, like if our current like left position was at index I, what is like the next position we have to jump to such that this number is like this, and we could, then it's like in 1 array, we can do that in 2 arrays, we can do that in 3, and like that to the power of this, we would have to do this, and so on. Okay, let's give this a shot. Yay. And then queries, and I believe we can solve them online, so yeah, okay, so we pre-process like this. Oh, okay, we need a sieve. Okay, if a number is 1, then it literally doesn't affect anything at all. So yeah, if primes at v is equal to 0. Okay. And for each right number. For each. Jumps. Okay, so we do a sieve like this, and wow, this prime is like that. We can then take it as, how do we take this? The minimum temp and then previous eval. The previous at p, so like what is the last number that had this prime factor? Then this gets set to I. Okay, and then we do jumps at I is equal to temp. And so we have to now consider like everything in between. Wait, I don't think we actually need a segment tree for this part of the processing, because if we iterate in from back to front, any like overlapped place means it's just like the upper bound of a previous thing. Min of temp and then jumps at I plus 1. Because if temp goes beyond, if temp goes beyond this location, then we just want to set it to be that location. Yeah, okay. 2 to the power of what is 100,000? 17? Wow, it's literally exactly 17. Huge. Okay, so n 17. Okay, so dp of I using one subarray will end up at jumps at I. Okay, so when you jump from starting from 0, you jump that much, that's like the next point you have. Okay, so GP at I to B. Yeah, going from mid to B minus 1 is like this. Okay, I think that's all we need to answer these queries. Obviously, we have at most 10 to the 5. Okay, so while using this bit makes it too far. And dp from the current left jumped by this much. Is strictly greater than, well, is equal to n. Yeah. Otherwise we do 3, 1, 2. Line 59 has an error. Mid. Okay, that's fair. We can do something like that. Shoot. Wrong answer for test 3. We have to debug this. Yeah, we never use 2 to the power 17 because that's over 10 to the 5. Equal, then oh shoot, I'm dumb. This is supposed to be it's not the n, it's greater than, because it's like if we start at that position, this is strictly greater than, right? that's when we should be breaking. Oh, you got the. How are we doing in standings? Okay, not bad. We are 32nd in Div 2 right now. If we were Div 2. But like, I'm orange right now. Okay, saying that sounded really fucking weird. I'm just not going to say anything. Okay, problem E. This time around, baby Ahab will play with permutations. He has n cubes arranged in a row with numbers from 1 to n in them. He'll make exactly j permutations in each thing. In each question, I'll pick up 2 cubes and switch their positions. Oh, so there's only 2 numbers as input. Number of cubes and parameter k. How many different he has n cubes arranged in a row with numbers from 1 to n. Pick 2 cubes and switch their positions. How many different sequences of cubes can I have at the end? Huh. Make this many operations. Okay, so if we could do like a DP that's like n times k DP, then we could turn it into matrix expo and it would probably run in time. Let's see. N and k. That's all the input, right? Yeah, okay. I want to get some water. I'll be right back. Wait, am I recording? Okay, I am. Yo, my hair is actually so messy right now. It's not even funny. Oh, jeez. So, DP. For each k numbers. Wait, are they adjacent swaps or no? And each operation picks up 2 cubes and switch. No, not necessarily. Okay, if it's not necessarily true, then it's a little bit tricky. Okay, so for permutation, rather than thinking about going from 1 to n to a permutation in k moves, we probably want to think about how many ways, or no, how many permutations exist such that you can sort it in k moves or less. Wait, no, but then what would we do with, I'll pick up 2 cubes. Like if we sort it and make an extra permutation. Yeah, so it's only with each other with the same mod. Okay. So if we we can decompose it into kind of like a functional graph where if we have like A, B, C, D, E, the answer is the sum of all of these cycles. Well, the sum of the size of these cycles minus the number of cycles. Okay, so these are the observations that I have so far. Okay, so dp, if we do dp at, we do I, and then we do this many moves, k. Okay, so we do that type of dp. Then it's dependent only on dp I minus 1 and k. Yeah. So what are some options that we have? We can either, okay, it can either form its own cycle, in which case it's just you don't make a move at all, or we can make a move to incorporate it in some cycle. And so no matter what cycle we put it in, the number of moves that needed to sort that cycle will always be increased by 1, unless if you put it in its right position. But if we swap it with the position I, then it's guaranteed to not be in the right position. So if we do something like dp at I minus 1 and k, yeah, we just like incorporate it to its new cycle. Or like, so we have to make a move. And is that it? Wait, is this? I wonder if this is it or not. Okay, so dp at at one number we've made 0 swaps. Oh, okay, but these numbers only yeah, these moves all yeah. wait, no. I'm dumb. We don't need to do this. It'll just k minus 2. Because if it's k minus 2, that should account for like this last value. Is this correct? Do we have to like consider? No, because it's gonna get added to an existing cycle no matter what. If we think of it in that way. Okay, so DP is like we used one element. We can only use 0 swaps. So oh wait, actually we don't. It doesn't matter. Okay. Why is that? What about this? And so we do 1. Yeah, 2, we can either create a new cycle or incorporate it into a previous cycle. There's 2 ways to do this. No, 3 should be... Oh, am I forgetting the +1 step? Or do we even need that? I'm not sure if we need that or not. Is this something that we need to think about? shift it into the cycle. Do we need to keep track? What else do we need to keep track for this DP? Because when we add the number 3, And so the number of, because we can incorporate it in 2 different cycles. Wait, no, but the number itself is incorporated and it should be the same. So if it's like 3, 2, 1. I guess in this case, if it's 2, 1, then it's like 3, 1, 2, or 2, 3, 1. Whereas for here, we can either do just leave it as 1, 2, 3. We could throw it in as a 1, 3, 2, or we could throw it in as a 3, 2, 1. These include all permutations except 2, 1, 3. We can just do it like this as well. Yeah, so all these permutations are achievable, like this way. It's just like, if you use only one move, then in one move we can create in one, okay, so if we have up 0 and 1, we can create up to okay, what is this value? It's 1. If we use exactly 1 swap, then it's 1. If we process this and it's 0, then it should be 2. Okay? So shouldn't DP at 2 and a 1 be 2? If both of those are 1? Oh wait, no, but it's 3. Why is it 3 if we use exactly 1 swap to do 0, 1, and 2? Out of the possibilities we can get are 0, 2, 1. We could also get get 2, 1, 0, or we can get 1, 0, 2. Oh, I guess it's like n times that, right? That would make a little more sense. I think it's like this. So minus 1k, we just put it at the end. This is account for like if we swap numbers back, and if we swap a number into an existing cycle, we have I numbers to choose from. Maybe this will make more sense. Let's see. No, now it's overcounting something. And that's still undercounting. One, 0. What does that even mean? If it hits, wait, so if it's like 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1. Okay, so we moved. Yeah, the only way is like if it's 0 times. But we do this thing over here. Oh shoot, I think it's this, isn't it? I think that's why. Yeah, because it's just like the same thing, then we can alternate them. No, that's still 3, 4. What about this one? But is it consistently overcounting? It is, just by a little bit. What if we do this, just out of curiosity? No? Okay. I'm pretty sure this is I over here. Because we have that many number of things to sort them into. Maybe this is like somehow double counting a little bit. Yeah, once I can figure out this DP, I can just apply matrix expo. The problem is, wait, actually, this is kind of a problem. How would I represent that in the matrix? Yeah, that's really weird. Maybe just like another row, or like another column. Alternatively, I could just try to hack people again, because hacking is always kind of fun. I still want to think about this a little bit more. this something I can Google? How many sequences? Oh my god. I think I just found that problem on HackerRank. That's not fun. Yeah, I mean, I could just copy it, but like, I'm not even on my main. What's the point, you know? How many sequences? Because like, this version of a problem is like, how many permutations you get after at most k swaps. This one is like exactly k swaps, but you can literally just subtract them because if the number of ways you can get a permutation at most k swaps and then subtract that is like exactly the same thing. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about this. Okay, well, because this problem is apparently very standard, I'm just not gonna. I don't think I'm gonna bother with it. At least I don't know. I think what's gonna be. I just want to have fun, you know. And this is like, cause I definitely feel like I'm close with DB. I could just try to figure out this deep. You know, okay, fine. I'll try to solve it anyway. So we have dp at I, dp at this. Let's see. Does this? Wait, I'm so dumb. I don't think we actually need that. Well, okay. I was copying that to show like to text someone. Yeah, cause that's a problem I found online. That's pretty much the same problem as this. And I was just like, no. I want to expose all of you. Okay, it's still a little bit off. Let's see. we can get if we swap it exactly this many times. Yeah, we add this. Swap each element from. Okay, so this is like, if you think about this formula over here, yeah, I think the problem is that this doesn't account for, because all of these permutations here, permutations use exactly K swaps use, never waste these swaps. But we can waste swaps by doing like K then K minus 2. We can, wait, we can just compute this DP. Wait, can we do that? No, because then we can like, I mean, we only care about the final state though. Yeah, okay. If we only care about the final state, then maybe it's fine. In the sense that if, okay, because this was slightly off because, but if we add those two together because of like every other two, then it might be fine. Like 1, 6, 11. Okay, I think this is correct. Like a correct DP. I just need to have 23 minutes to matrix expo this bullshit. How fun. Good problem, Kappa. God, when was the last time I used matrix exponentiation? Jesus Christ. It's actually so dumb. Public long multiply. So we do this. Clearly we don't need that. Okay, so this is a naive DP that I'm going to model it off of. So power, yeah, pretty much just this. Okay, what is a transition matrix? The transition matrix would look like, what would it look like? For 1 and K. So K obviously goes to it. So if we have K equals 4, for example, we have like a 4x4 thing. These are like the ith DP values. And this, we use like 0, 1, 2, 3 swaps. Then okay, obviously we want to add it into each other at least once. And we also add into, for each number, we also add into it a certain number of times like that. So, okay, pretty much. Okay, I'm gonna get a little more paper for this. So K is equal to 4. pretty much we have A, B, C, D. It's like dp at 0, dp at 1, dp at 2, dp at 3. Is it dp at 0? Okay, so now this is like dp at I and k, meaning that it should just be A. This one should be B plus A. This one should be C plus 2B. This one should be D plus 3C. And the way we can multiply these matrices together to get that is if we have A, B plus A, C plus 2B, D plus 3B, we can have a 1 over here. 2, 3, obviously just zeros. Yeah, so we have a 1, because it's included at one time, yeah. So B plus A, 0, 0, this is 0, 2, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 3. Okay, that's what the matrix should look like. Okay, so long coefficient n by n or r is less than n, r plus plus, and then we do coefficient at r and c is equal to 1, and then if r is greater than 0, then coefficient at row r column c minus, row r, and then row r column c minus 1 is going to be equal to r. Yeah, so that's a coefficient matrix. So it's going to be 4 by, I guess k by 0. My bad, this should just be k. So we do k by k, and then we do dp. This is like, or I guess it's just 1, my bad. dp at I don't know what I'm doing. Wait, yeah, dp at 0 is equal to 1. So that's like the base case. We multiply it for each n. So it's dp at 0. So long temp is equal to power. I want to take a coefficient matrix and raise it to the power of n. And then we just, dp is equal to multiply temp and then dp. Okay, so for 0 to 1, we do, or no, we do, and then I is less than or equal to k, I plus plus. Long res is equal to dp at I. Res plus equal to sums at line 55. Where's line 55? Oh. Oh, jeez. Shoot. That's not quite right. Are these right? Okay, that's not right either, though. Wait, that's really weird because it should have been right. Maybe instead if I is greater than or equal to 2, and then it's something like dp at I minus I mean, I guess this is equal to 2. Oh wait, that's equal. Oh, I'm dumb. I'm kind of dumb. Okay, so dp coefficient matrix, is that the correct coefficient matrix? It looks like it is. Okay, I'm gonna work through this by hand. So if k is equal to 2, then it's like 1, 1, 1, 0. We start off with 1, 0. In one move, well, like in one turn, we get this adds up to 1, this adds up to 1. This adds up with 1, this adds up with 2. And then in one more turn, this adds up with 1, this adds up with 3. It's k plus 1. Frick, dude, I'm so dumb. Okay, I'm boosted. I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. Because it's n is number of cubes, k is 2. And most of the number of times that we swap it. Yeah, because it's like 0 swaps, 1 swap, 2 swaps, 3 swaps. But the case with 0 swaps doesn't make any sense in the first place. So you want to ignore it pretty much. If that makes any sense. So, okay, let's instead suppose 1 swap. And we only multiply it like a certain number of times. Yeah, okay, so so we do 1 swap. The number of permutations we can get is, it's very straightforward, right? Yeah, n times n minus 1 over 2. Okay, so that's awkward. We need to do n over here. Oh, but we only need to do it. And it's a total number of things. We want to do the most as many swaps. So it's like after we consider these 2 elements, we want to add them back in. So oh yeah, because this dp is like 0 through k. 0 swap, if you do like a 0 swap, it can only be with itself. But we just increase k by 1. We could also, alternatively, we could just do that. Let me think about it. We do k plus 1, you do. Yeah, so like I, then I minus 1 is like a number of ways that include this many swaps. Yeah, I'll do it like this. K plus 1 if R is greater than that, long temp, power coefficient, string builder. Okay. And then we do okay, it's just the more I do this, the more messed up it gets. Yeah, to be fair, bro, this is the second time I've ever used Matrix Expo, so, or like, I have not used it that much. So if there's a bug, then that's whatever. I'm on an alt anyway. Let's see. Temp multiply. Wait, is it n minus 1? Yeah, because we've already processed one of these numbers. So maybe we'll only apply it like a few more times. Maybe. Maybe. Oh wait, no, 2, 3 is not right. No, okay. It worked for this DP though. Yeah, because like for the k, for value of k, we want to multiply it with k minus 1. Yeah, so if k was equal to 3, then we'll like a DP at 0, DP at 1 dependent on the previous ones over there. Well, it depends on obviously itself and one of the other thing. Like row R and then just slightly above it. Because we can create one more swap and we have that many options for it. Or I guess, oh, it's n. This coefficient depends on n. Shit. Wait, so does this matrix change? Oh, that makes a lot more sense. These coefficients change. Oh, they depend on n. Okay. Yeah, I just realized that because these coefficients in the matrix aren't like the same all the time. I don't think it's like I have to think about this a little bit more. All right, so that's probably my contest. Um, I mean, it's not official for me. It's unrated, but at least for me. But that was pretty fun. Um, B. Okay, I definitely bricked on problem B. I don't know why I spent that long doing it. I really shouldn't have, but other than that, I'm pretty happy with how I did. Hmm. Okay. Do I want to try to hack people? I'll try. I mean, I feel like there's no reason not to. Wait, what's problem A again? Problem A was this. So for 20 test cases, we do the number of elements in the array and the maximum number of things we can make. And then the elements of this array A. Is this slow? So while A is 0 and A is not equal to that. No, because we only make 10,000 changes anyway. It's probably fine. Yeah, that looks fine. Okay, well. Okay, that's going to be my contest then. I'll definitely upsolve E later, but other than that, yeah, I'm pretty much done. I'm not gonna talk about editorials right now because I have a whiteboard like at where I am right now, so I might actually use that and upload a separate video. So if you want that, then just like let me know. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the screencast and watching me be very stupid on problem B and then solving C and D in like 10 minutes. Bye.